discussion. We are proud and privileged today to have with us alumni from Biomedical Science and Pharmaceutical Science today. The title of today's forum is Inspiring Journeys of Alumni. I've had the privilege of teaching some of them here, and they all have lovely, inspiring stories to share with us today. I'll introduce them first very quickly, and then we'll go into their individual stories. Okay, so beside me is Miss Lee Mei Ying. She's a clinical research associate with a very interesting company called CSI Medical Research Private Limited. Okay, we'll ask you later about that. And then beside her, we have Mr. Tan Han Min, who's a radiation therapist at National Cancer Center. And then we've got Miss Summer Lee, a PhD candidate. She's doing her PhD now, and she's a research officer at A-Star Biopolis. Beside her is Vernice Wee, a pre-registration pharmacist with SGH. And beside Vernice is Ernest Goh, who is an associate product manager with Menarini Asia Pacific. Okay, so we're all, as I said, happy to have all of you here. You've made time to come on your busy schedules. So without further ado, let me ask you some questions first. Having said that, for all of you who are here today, feel free to, in between when I ask questions or you've got things to clarify, raise your hand and ask us anything you want to ask, or ask any of them specifically about their field of work or what studies they went through and all that. Okay? Okay. So maybe I'll open a general easy question first for everyone. Okay? So all of you lah. How did LSCT is our School of Life Sciences and Chemical Technology, prepare you for challenges in your current role? Okay, so all of you now, you've got different jobs in the research, pharma, hospital pharmacies, research, PhDs. How did your journey in this school prepare you for your job today? Who would like to go first? Hey, Vernice.
Hello, hello everyone, I'm Vernice. How has LSCT prepared me for my current job today? I think my time was the older curriculum. So I think I was the second last batch during the older curriculum for the pharmacy science, whereby we had 3 weeks, towards our year 3, we had 3 weeks of attachment at NUH and 3 weeks of school, and that keeps rotating around lah. And then they also invited like guest lecturers and stuff to come in to teach us so that we can apply like stuff clinically. Some things that are actually taught in school during that period of time are still very applicable today, like all the different like pharmacology, like study of the drugs, about the diseases. Of course, the field is always developing and there's always a lot of research upcoming. So, the school has also taught us like how to search for references and what is considered like a good reference so that we can use those references to help us to like update ourselves and continue our like further education.
Yeah, I think in the sciences, a very important point is how we keep ourselves continuously updated. There's something new coming up all the time. Thanks, Vernice. Who would like to go next? Summer?
So LSCT, I think it's a very special place, I think, for a lot of people. And for me, I think the special thing is that it provides a lot of practical skills and opportunities for its students, which is quite different from, let's say, what a traditional A-level education would give you. And the school environment is always super supportive. And for example, if you want to do something, or you can just ask the lecturers and they will do their best to kind of make that opportunity happen for you. So I'm very grateful for the opportunities, because it really prepared me well for university. And yeah, so I think that's the special thing about LSCT, which is the support from teachers and the curriculum.
Okay. And Han Min, maybe?
For biomedical science, with regards to my current role as a radiation therapist, I think that one of the main advantages I have is being able to do research really well. Research is a big part of almost every course, every university course, especially in the sciences and the health sciences. So research doesn't only stop at, like, say, life science or biological sciences. If you're planning to go for courses such as radiation therapy, physiotherapy, and all that, we do have final year projects. And being from biomedical science, being able to analyze the data, being able to read research papers, understand them, it really helped my final year project as well. Yeah, and also working as a team was very important for my final year project as well as my current role in radiation therapy. And I think it's really fostered at a very early stage in LSCT. So in biomedical science, we usually work in pairs or as a team during the labs, and you really learn how to work with people when you're studying here.
Very important point, actually. In fact, when we've done industry queries, one of the important things they want in young graduates is soft skills, which include teamwork and interpersonal skills. And as Hanmin said, we really do give them a lot of project works in teams and research, not being only a wet science lab-based research. There's a lot of research in applied sciences. We'll talk about Hanmin's career later in detail. How about you, Mei?
Thank you, Ms. Sumita. So hi everyone, I'm Mei. So for me, how has LSCT prepared me for work? Well, I think LSCT provides a really good foundation in life sciences, because of course when you come out from secondary school, we only learn like the really basic things. However, LSCT really delve into like the different aspects of life sciences, like they have like physiology modules, cell biology, all this. So you really need to have like a very strong base in life science if you want to work in this industry. So for me, my current role, I actually handle a lot of different therapeutic areas. So because of my background in life sciences, when they assign me like a project, I can like, I've seen this before, so it's like, it comes to me, the knowledge. But that being said, knowledge is like not everything, because in the workplace, soft skills is really what's important, because knowledge is you're expected to have, but the soft skills is what define you in the workplace. So for LSCT, I believe it is things like, like project works, presentation, that really develops like your collaboration skills, your presentation skills, and how you apply this in the workplace. So that's all.
Very wise words, Mei Ying. And finally, Ernest. Ernest is a graduate from 2012. So more than a decade ago, he graduated. So tell us about how it has been for you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sumita. So I'm really happy to be here to share with everyone my experience. So while I was making my way up to level 5, I was, walking through the campus, and I was seeing like, the banner. I think the giving something extra has been something that has been with Nian for
Very
more
long
than a
time.
decade,
Yep.
ever since when I was a student. And I was like reflecting on my journey as a LSCT student. I really felt that from the 3 years that I spent in LSCT at Ngee Poly, it really provided me with an extra experience, not just being good at what I was studying, which was pharmacy science, but also prepared me to be industry ready and also to be forward thinking. And I think the curriculum, like what Vernice actually mentioned, for our final year, we actually have industry placements and attachments. So to be able to have those experiences, I think that's what really sets the diploma curriculum from a junior college curriculum. So if you're actually looking for something that you want to, if you have something within you that you have a passion and you like to maybe find out how is it like in industry experience. So I think life sciences, diploma will definitely prepare you and provide you with something extra. Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Ernest. So all our diplomas, they have an internship, 6 months at least. And that's where, as Ernest said, they decide they like the job. Sometimes they decide they don't like it, but the experience really helps them make future decisions for their career. So that's probably one of our strengths in poly education. Okay, I'm going to zoom into individual students, okay, and ask them specific questions. We'll start with Mei Ying. So your job title is Clinical Research Associate. And when we hear the title Research Associate, you would think it's a job related to lab research, conical flasks, test tubes, wet lab experiments, right? Can you share with us, please? Is that what you do, or you do something else?
So yes, there's a very huge misconception in my job title. So really last time got someone approach me on LinkedIn, say that, hey, you know, I really want to be like a CRA, Clinical Research Associate. Can I talk to you? So I said, okay. Then when I talked to her, she started talking about her research experience, like, well, you know, I did this experiment, blah, 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 lab work. Then I stopped her and said, hey, wait, like, this is like, I just let you know my job don't have any lab work. Then she's like, oh. Yeah, so she was like, oh, okay, then, yeah. So at a recent career fair, I was also talking to someone who approached our company booth. And she's like, oh, I'm looking like for a research job. I said that, oh yeah, we are in clinical research. Then she starts saying like, oh, you know, I'm very interested. So I stopped her. I said that, oh, just before we continue, I just want to say that we have no lab work. Then she's like, oh, then this is not what I'm looking for. Okay, so yes, there's a big misconception. I do not do lab work. I've been working this job for 2 years, haven't stepped into lab for 2 years. What I actually do is clinical research. So what that means is like basically research in humans. So on patients, on participants. So basically, I just give you like an example. You know, like let's say pharmaceutical companies or biotechs, they have maybe a new drug that they created or a new therapy and they want to push it to the market, right? But before you do that, you need to run something called a clinical trial in human patients to test whether it really works and is it safe before you release it for market authorization. So then they have to do all these like studies in hospitals, clinics and whatnot. And it will be the hospital staff that are running these studies. However, my job as a CRA basically oversee and supervise the study. So I will work closely with the hospitals to check whether like, you know, they are compliant with the study protocol, check whether patient safety is being considered, and also to check whether like they have done the data correctly, collected the data correctly, doing data entry correctly or not lah. So my job as a CRA, usually CRAs, they can be employed by pharmaceutical companies or what we call a contract research organization. So my company is a contract research
So
organization.
CSI is a crime scene investigation, very exciting.
Yeah, no, we are not crime scene investigation. We also always got this question from our clients. So our company, CSI, is actually short for Clinical Solutions Innovating Medical Research. My COO came up with his name. You go ask him why he chose this name. I don't know anything. Yeah, but we basically provide like services to clients like pharmaceutical companies and biotechs to run their clinical research for them.
Okay. It's all about evidence-based therapies, evidence-based medicines. Everything has to be studied properly, and you're the person who make sure trials go according to plan, according to safety, efficacy, quality, right?
Yeah.
What do you think when you were 16 or 17? What personality traits do you think you had that is useful to your job today?
Okay, maybe I just give some insights on what I do on a daily basis, then I will relate that question to what I do. So basically, for me as a CRA, we work closely with the sites. So what I do...
when you say sites, you mean...
hospitals.
Hospitals
Yeah.
that run these studies on patients.
Yep. Yeah. So usually my startup team, which is not my department lah, but our neighboring department, they will work with the client closely to find out from them like how they want to design the protocol and stuff. I'm not involved in that stage, but I'll come in later when they manage to get the regulatory approval, like, you know, from HSA, from the ethics board, to actually get approval to run these studies in the hospitals or clinics. So then after that is where I come in, where I will have to train the sites on the protocol. So for that, I will need to give like a presentation in front of all the doctors and like the hospital staff to say that, oh, you know, like this is how we're going to do the study and stuff. Then like ask them questions, ask like, you know, any challenges you foresee, then we will settle it right now. Don't like later got something on, then like delay the study. So for that, it's called like site initiation visit, where I will do like the initiation visit. Then subsequently, I will do this thing called a routine visit, where I would go down on regular intervals to check all the documents. So like
Okay, go on, go on.
Oh, okay. So like basically I'll review the patient records and stuff to ensure that all the procedures are done correctly and patient safety is like sort of considered. Yeah. Then at the same time, you know, when I'm not at site, I'll be at home like working on my paperwork. I need to write report for every
Do you
visit.
get to work from home?
Yes, I do. Our industry quite flexible, so
Okay.
yeah, that's a benefit. So when I'm not at site, I'll be writing reports at home to report what I found during the visit. Then I will sometimes like get calls from the hospital to like troubleshoot things lah. Okay, yeah.
Ensuring everything is smooth and goes according to plan. And clinical trial protocols are one of the most stringent, strict protocols because we are testing humans in that sense. So you really got to be very meticulous,
Yes.
very careful, have an eye for detail.
That's what I want to get to.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
why.
Sorry,
It's good
your answer.
to link to this. So basically, since young, I noticed that I've been very like I have an eye for detail. Like you know, in school, right? People want to write essay. They always send it to me to proofread.
Or you were the old ChatGPT.
Something like that lah. Then like I will spot all the grammar mistakes, all the punctuation mistakes, all the capitalization mistakes. Yeah, so like I noticed that was a strength. And in this line of work, you really need to be the kind of person because you need to scrutinize everything that they do to see whether there's any deviation from the protocol. So if you see something suspicious, it's like, wait, like it shouldn't be like this. So when you ask, then they're like, oh yeah, you know, we kind of like did it a different way. Then we're like, oh no, then it's a deviation. So you need to catch all this and report this. And also, it's also important for patient safety. Like, okay, you know, like 2 days ago, I went for a site visit. I saw that this patient came down and in the patient record, it's written temperature 38 degrees Celsius. So I was like, wait, it's a fever. So then I went to search the other pages to see like if there was like this thing called adverse event reported, and yes, there was. But it wrote that the resolution date was that day. So I was like, I find it highly unlikely that the patient would come in the morning and then within a few hours the fever is resolved.
Okay.
So I asked the doctor, this one, the fever really resolved within like 3 hours. Then she's like, oh no, it's a documentation error.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, so have you checked with the patient whether the fever has subsided? It's like, oh, we will check now. So something like this, you really need to catch details.
All right. And May, you after Poly, you went on to do your degree in
Life sciences in NUS.
life sciences in NUS, and after that you went on to work in CSI.
No, actually my first job is in Singapore General Hospital
Okay.
as a research coordinator. So basically, like now I'm overseeing the hospitals, like
Okay.
but the research coordinators and the doctors are the ones who's actually running the trial.
So you were with
Yeah.
SGH.
Yeah, last time I was doing the on the ground work. Yeah.
So now you've taken the step up and you're managing them lah.
Yes.
Okay, very inspiring. Thank you. Okay, Mei Ying. Okay, next to Han Min. So Han Min, you're a radiation therapist. And when I saw you today, I asked him, Han Min, are you a radiologist? Oh no, a radiographer. Is that what you do, right? So maybe you can tell us first, what do you do as a radiation therapist? Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So we get that a lot. A radiographer is more of like the eyes of the hospital. They are who, maybe if you have a fall, have a road traffic accident, they are the ones who are taking the X-ray, they're doing the CT
So the
scans.
X-ray scan specialists are the radiographers,
Yeah.
which is not what you do, right?
Yeah, sort of a different job scope. So what I do is radiation therapy. We work specifically with cancer patients. So almost every single patient I see on a daily basis is a cancer patient. We use radiation to specifically target the cancer cells to hopefully eradicate the cancer before any permanent side effects. Yeah, so that's what.
Just to add on, when someone gets cancer, many chemotherapy, which is the medicine patient, and a lot of them then go for the radiation therapy after putting
Like X-rays. So in the past, it's specifically like X-rays to sort of kill the cancer. Recent development has also included new particles such as protons, which have a very specific dose distribution. It's a little technical, but in a way, the end goal is to reduce the side effects of radiation therapy.
Okay. Very interesting role in your degree.
I did my degree in radiation therapy, specifically in SIT. So it's a 4-year degree course. As it's similar to the rest of the allied health. So radiation therapy is specifically also an allied health program, such as physiotherapy, occupational therapy, diagnostic radiography, and yeah, recently we've added, I think they've added dietetics and speech therapy as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's a very new field. And there's a lot of things happening, a lot of advancement. How do you keep yourself updated? Celia?
So on a weekly basis, the doctors and also the radiation therapists, they will actually hold journal clubs. So someone gets assigned a journal club and they say, okay, you maybe you find a topic that you're interested in. Or for myself, when I ran the journal club, I did my final year project. So I presented my final year project to the entire team.
What your project, if you don't mind me asking?
It was about how support groups actually helped cancer patients, basically. Yeah, so it was a very psychological based final year project.
Okay.
And also, the hospital will send people to overseas conferences such as ISTRO, ASTRO, PHARO. They are all different conferences. They are basically radiation oncology specific conferences. So actually, I attended one recently in KL just last year. It was very interesting because these were what the pioneers are presenting. Yeah, so before they even hit the market, the research is presented at these conferences, and yeah, so that's how we keep updated with all the advancements in radiation therapy.
And very current with their therapies. Any safety considerations, because you're dealing with radiation? These are very what I would think rays that can be very dangerous, right? How about the safety? Is that something to think about?
Yeah, so actually I think a lot of people are wondering how safe is it to be a radiation therapist. So one thing is that our machines are like on an on-off basis. So when it's off, there's no radiation at all. And when the patient has completed their radiation therapy, they are not radioactive at all. It's something like an X-ray machine, but almost 1,000 times more powerful.
Okay.
So there are a lot of safety, we call them interlocks in place. So if the door is open, the machine won't turn on. If there's some error in the setup, the machine won't turn on. And the walls are also concrete lined, a few meters of concrete. So there's almost no radiation that gets through to the control room. And on top of that, we carry what we call dosimeters. So every 3 months...
DOCI, is it?
DOSI. Dosimeters. So they are these little clips that we carry on. And NEA checks them every 3 months and reports to us if there's any severe or like significant radiation exposure.
Yeah. So a lot of safety checks in place.
Definitely.
And let's say if I'm an introvert, do I need interpersonal skills to work in your field?
I would say that you require some level of wanting to talk to someone, because I think no one would be happy getting cancer. So it's also a lot of dealing with the patient, dealing with the caregivers to help them get through this difficult time, to explain to them the procedure, why they require the procedure, also to get them through the treatment, because sometimes it can get a little tough to build rapport with them, because when they have side effects, we want to know. Yeah.
So you talk to the patients
too. Definitely. Yeah. So for radiation therapy, actually, we see them on a daily basis. So minimally 5 times, and it goes up to maybe 30 times. So you see the same patient
30 times, meaning 30 different days.
30 different days.
Wow,
So you sort of build a rapport with the patient. They talk to you about their life, and also they tell you about their side effects. And that's how you tell them how to manage their side effects, and also maybe give them some support. Yeah.
Thanks, Hanmin. Just to build on that, so Hanmin did a degree in radiation therapy. A lot of our students, after their biomedical or pharmaceutical courses, go on to do a degree in allied health, meaning radiation therapy, radiography, physiotherapy, nursing, pharmacy, medicine. We've got students who've gone in. What else again? I think you were mentioning
Dietetics and also
dietetics,
speech therapy.
speech therapy. All this is available in our local unis lah. And Hanmin is an example of one. Okay, thanks Hanmin. That was very insightful. Summer. Okay, now over to Summer. Summer is a PhD candidate who is from A-Star Biopolis. Summer, you did your degree in?
I did a bachelor's in biological science at Imperial College London.
Oh, Imperial College. That's very grand. And how did you get into Imperial College?
So I'm quite grateful and quite lucky to have gotten the A-Star National Science Scholarship. So that funds both my undergraduate and graduate studies.
So after poly, you applied for this scholarship?
I applied for it during poly,
Oh,
like
during
the final
poly.
year. Yeah.
Okay, and how did you know there was such a scholarship?
So poly has provided me with many opportunities, which I'm very grateful for. So one of them is the Poly A-Star Scholarship. So I'm lucky enough to have gotten that. So from that kind of A-Star Poly group, I was introduced to the National Science Scholarship by A-Star. So I applied
Okay.
for it. Yeah. during
Okay,
the
so
final.
how was it like studying in Imperial, which is one of the top 3, is it?
Not the top 3. I think it's the
It's one of the top in the world.
I can't remember. Yeah.
So how was it like studying there? Could you cope?
It's very, yeah, it's a very good experience. I think it's very different from Singapore, and I'm very grateful for the opportunities that Imperial offers. Like for example, I think one of my most memorable project was, so I was interested in social behavior. So I did a project to study primate social behavior. So I looked at monkeys, and yeah, so I think at London Zoo. So that I thought that was really cool, and
Okay.
yeah, I quite enjoyed that.
Okay. And after you finished your degree, you came back to work with A-Star?
Yes, so
Okay.
for the National Science Scholarship, once you finish your undergrad, you do 1 year of bond in A-Star. So you do research, and then you go on to a PhD studies, and then after you're done, there's a 5 years of bond. So total 6 years of bond.
Okay, and can you share with us about your PhD currently? What are you planning to, or where are you planning to do your PhD?
So last year I applied for Cambridge University, and I was lucky and grateful to have gotten a spot.
Congratulations! Cambridge is also so grand.
Yeah, but now I'm also trying for US universities. So yeah, currently is the interview period. And actually 2 days ago I had a really long interview. It was 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Singapore time.
Interview
Yeah, it's like a continuous thing with a 1 hour.
with one institution.
Yeah.
Wow.
So currently is the interview period. It's a bit intense.
We
But
wish you all the best, and hope you get what you want.
thank you.
And can I ask, is it confidential? What research are you planning to do for your PhD, or what are you doing?
So I'm interested in neuroscience. So my PhD in research interest, I hope to study neurodevelopment. So how does early life sensory experiences or early life maternal health, how does that affect the neurodevelopment of offspring?
Neural development of babies in the stomach.
Yeah, but I'm working with mice and zebrafish models. So
Mice.
yeah.
Mice, pregnant mice
yeah,
models.
pregnant mice. Yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting. So we may see your research coming out in some journal sometime, and let us know when it does get published. Okay, wish you all the best. Just one advice, one question. What advice can you give our young students? So we've got all these different pathways. Yours is the wet lab towards the wet lab,
wet
isn't it? Versus what Ming and Hanmin were doing. What would you advise young 16, 17-year-olds on what they need to prepare for a research field, something like what you are doing?
Um, I think, a really important thing is to get internships because, and I think that's what makes LSCT different from others, is that we are given a lot of research opportunities and a lot of internship opportunities, which is not possible in like a traditional A-level education. So because of that, I think it really helped me to like get a head start to the research career. But yeah, so one piece of advice, I guess, is kind of believe in yourself in a way, because I didn't when when I first started poly. But so if I can kind of give my younger self advice, is to believe in yourself and just you'll go far.
Very wise words. I think even as adults, believing in yourself sometimes gets tough, isn't it? So we appreciate that advice. Just very quickly, so your internship when you were in LSCT was with A-Star?
It was with A-Star,
Okay.
yes.
Hanmin, how about you?
I was with CGH.
CGH,
Yeah.
and what did you do in CGH?
I did it was the diagnostic labs.
Okay.
So it was the same for my FYP and internship. So I stayed
Okay.
with CGH for the entire year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something
So
in like
yes,
the
yes.
diagnostic labs.
Mm.
And Mei Ying?
For me, I was similar to Summer. I got the A-Star Poly Award, so I had to do my internship in A-Star
Okay.
in the research lab.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Okay, over to Vernice. Vernice Wee. He's a pre-registration pharmacist. A pre-registration pharmacist, maybe you can tell us who are not from the pharmacy field, what does a pre-registration pharmacist do?
Okay, so a pre-registration pharmacist is basically after you graduate from school, you need to complete requirements by the council. So we are all governed by the Singapore Pharmacy Council, and it's a requirement that you need to complete, I think, 1 year of training. But half of it will be done during the school curriculum, and then the other half will be done after that.
So you finished 3 years in pharmacy or 4 years in pharmacy?
4. So we
in
did
NUS.
4 years of in NUS.
So plus now another
30 weeks, so we are part of the new program. So it was 11 weeks in a pharma company, 11 weeks in the polyclinic or retail setting, and then now it's another 30 weeks with SGH. So you complete your training, and as a pre-registration pharmacist, everything you do, basically you have somebody like a registered pharmacist checking your work. There will be also like assessments, so you will do like things like dispensing evaluations, reviewing your patients, how do you review your patients, how do you confirm a script, and all these things will be basically a more senior pharmacist will check your work and they'll evaluate you. So you need to pass that and also the competency exam before you can apply for registration. So right now we are actually in the phase where we are waiting for our license. So we already applied and then we're just waiting for the license to come.
Yeah, so for pharmacists, they need license to practice in a clinical setting or in a hospital pharmacy, right? And Vernice, what are some of the challenges the pharmacy profession you think faces today?
Actually, I think this doesn't just applies to pharmacy, but also other professions. I think the easiest thing that people do experience is burnout, because in the healthcare setting, like you care a lot for your patients, and then sometimes you tend to forget about yourself, because there's also so many things that you want to do to make a difference in the patient's life. So like there might be a lot of projects, like quality improvement projects, or like you may spend a lot of time like speaking to a patient and that kind of stuff. So sometimes it does wear you out a little bit, but you need to know like when to take proper breaks. So like and have your lunches. So that's why my ward checkers, like basically those that check my work, they will always tell me, do remember to go for your lunch, do remember to take
Because you
breaks.
have patients every day, in, out, in, out.
Yeah, so
They can
sometimes
be
you tend
angry,
to
they can be happy.
yeah, sometimes you tend to forget, because okay, so I'll give a description of like, because right now I'm in inpatient. So in the morning you'll verify your orders, and after you verify your orders, you need to do your med recons. So it depends on how many patients are admitted that day, and certain med recons you need to interview the patients, especially if there are discrepancies. So by the time you are done with your med recon, depending on how many you have a day, you might end a little bit late, sometimes at like 12:30 or 1. And in between, you also need to check your prescriptions, like discharge scripts when your patient is about to discharge. So it can be quite hectic in like the day. So sometimes, and for us, we need to verify orders and check scripts until 12:30. And if you have lots of orders and scripts to check, you may only do your med recon after that. So sometimes because you are in a rush, you want to finish, you might tend to miss
Okay,
lunch.
I already feel tired when I hear about it this morning.
But actually, it's a very fulfilling experience, I must admit, because you learn a lot from your patients. Yeah, it's not just we provide care to the patients, but the patients also teach us very important lessons.
Yeah, every patient comes with their own story.
Yeah.
And you're in charge of their well-being. And okay, thanks, Bernice. And I remember you as a young year 1 student, even before year 1, I think, right? You came in earlier, didn't you? Were you on EAE, no?
Yeah. So I came in through the early admission program. I actually came for I think it was like a mini course when I was in secondary 3, whereby the school actually sends us to LSCT, and then I think pharmacy was having like a workshop, something like that. So we were making creams.
Yeah, so I remember her, the secondary school student, in fact. And now, 7, 8, 9 years later, how do you think what you had in mind that time, has it met your expectations?
I think for me, right, I think the misconception a lot of people have is, pharmacists only sit in front of the counter, you only dispense, say, take 1 tablet 3 times a day, and then these are the side effects of the medicines. But there's actually a lot that goes behind that. And those are the things that, because for LCT we have attachments with NUH, we actually get to see that and know that a lot earlier. And we know that there's actually just more to just dispensing the medications to the patient. So like even there are certain pharmacists that also do ward rounds with the doctors and nurses, and there's basically a lot of multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary care that goes on for the particular patients. But our job essentially is really to make sure that the medications that the patients are taking are correct and that no harm is given to the patient. So we actually do a lot of interventions and discussion with the doctors on what, and apart from make the medications to be correct, it's also about the choice of therapy as well. So we also discuss with the doctors, maybe it's not a wrong choice, but maybe could we consider another medication that might be more suitable for the patients.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you are now going to be bonded to SGH, right, for another 3 years?
Yeah, so I'm under the MOHH Merit Healthcare Award Scholarship. So I'm a mid-term scholar and I'm bonded for 4 years with SGH.
We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And Ernest, for you, you're an associate product manager, right? And you're also a pharmacy graduate from NUS. Maybe you share with us, after NUS, what did you do?
So upon graduation from pharmacy school in NUS, just like Vernice, I also did a pre-registration phase. However, it was at a different hospital. In fact, I did it at Khoo Teck Puat Hospital, which is in the north. Yep. So upon completion, I was at Khoo Teck Puat Hospital for another 5 years as a pharmacist, where I was mostly specialized at the outpatient pharmacy. Okay. And so that was my initial journey.
Okay, then now you are in
yes.
Menarini Asia Pacific. Would you, it's quite a new company, I'm not very familiar with. Maybe you can share with us what Menarini does.
So Menarini is actually an Italian biopharmaceutical company that has a presence globally, not just within Asia Pacific, but also in Europe and the Americas. And for us, we deal with a wide range of therapeutic areas, cardiovascular, respiratory, pain, oncology. So it's a very dynamic company that is present worldwide and globally. Yes.
So you're a pharma professional, right? In other words.
Yes, you can say so. Yes, yeah, working in the pharmaceutical industry. Yes.
What's exciting about your job?
I think what's exciting about my job is that maybe to put it in simple layman terms that every one of us can sort of relate to. Being a product manager is like a brand owner. Say for example, you are selling this microphone. You are the brand owner of this product. So you oversee the marketing strategy and the growth of the product. So you basically see through a product's life cycle, and you sort of plan ahead so that the product reaches its true potential commercially. Yeah. So in short, this is what my job do.
So marketing is also something you have to be interested in.
Yes, that's
It doesn't
right.
have to always be a hospital or a clinical setting. So you get your own car and you get to drive around.
Yeah. So part of my job, because it's not just understanding the products and coming out with how to sell, but it's important to have engagements with doctors and also to have the working relationship with certain institutions.
Yep.
So for us, one of the requirements is for us to have our own transport so that we are able to have not just hospital engagements, but maybe for our events or our lunch engagements, we are able to actually move around quickly. Yeah. Yes.
Right. Before next round of questions, does anyone from the floor have any questions? Oh, okay. So much rich information today from all of you. I'll just ask you one question first. If I have more time, I'll ask more later. We'll start with Ernest. If you could give one piece of advice to your younger self while studying at LSCT or even before making that choice, what course should I choose? What would you tell yourself to 16-year-old or 17-year-old Ernest?
So it's really been quite a while. I mean, when I was 16, 17 years old, yeah. So in fact, more than 16 years ago, I was a 16-year-old.
Don't reveal your age, it's okay.
That's why I say more than 16 years
Okay,
ago.
okay.
Yeah. So I think one of the questions that I asked myself, obviously, when I received my O-level results was, what am I going to do next? What am I going to study? Which school should I apply for? If it's going to be a diploma, what courses should I choose? So I think one advice that I have for everyone here who are deciding on what you want to do or study next is to really ask yourself, maybe the first question will be what you're passionate in. I think that's how all of us here got to where we are today.
What's your passion?
Yes. Yep. So can be like, subjects in school that you feel that you do well in, because usually what you do well in is something that you tend to like, right? So that's a very simple start. Or it could be just even beyond academics. It can be maybe things that is outside of school. Maybe you have a hobby, you have something that you are doing outside of school in your daily life that you are passionate in. So I think with all these information and answers, right, you can then move on to the next step of asking yourself, what am I going to study next? So I think it really helps to give a very good guide to the next step. Yeah. So I think my advice to everyone would be to find out more about yourself and ask yourself what are your passions, and from there you follow your heart and you move along with it. Yes.
And what was your CCA when you were in poly?
So when I was in poly, I was actually part of the it's actually known as a mentoring club.
Okay.
So what I do was we went to primary school every weekend, and we actually gave tuition to some of the primary school students.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was because for me when I was a poly student, through the I always wanted to do something in healthcare. I think one of the reasons why I want to do healthcare is also being able to impact lives and have the interaction with patients. So I felt that being a member of the mentoring club allowed me to also interact with people, with kids, and also impact them through their academic journey. Yeah.
Thanks, Ernest. That was meaningful. We have to remember an important point. Healthcare doesn't always mean you want to be just one particular profession. There's so many of them here with such varied backgrounds, all doing something meaningful in a health care journey.
So I definitely agree with what Ms. Sumita mentioned. So being if you go through the LSCT program and move on to your degree, what it actually prepares you is to be relevant to not just to the what the diploma is, but also to even related fields towards it. So say for example, if you come and study pharmaceutical science, I have to help Mr. Ta a bit. So actually prepares you not just for the healthcare industry, it also prepares you to beyond the healthcare industry. It can help you even do jobs in the ministry, like Ministry of Health, even in HSA, my current role right now in the pharmaceutical industry. So it's not just within the healthcare, but it can actually really go beyond.
Yeah, it can be very diverse.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it really and so the LCT program really provides you with the foundation to really maneuver and explore.
Okay, thanks. How about Bernice? Advice for you? 2 minutes.
But okay, for me, I was a very different. I sort of. I mean, okay, maybe when I was 15 instead, because that was like Sec 3, they bring you out to the different polytechnics. I mean, that period of time, I was really thinking like, what exactly is it that I want to do? So I think the most important thing is to explore, like go to the different polytechnics, speak to the different people that have already done the course already.
Did you do that?
Yeah, so that's what exactly that I did. Because I applied through the early admission route. So that was actually, you apply before you take the O-level exam. So I went out to the different polytechnics, I speak to the different people, attend all the so-called available workshop talks that they have to exactly find out what I want to do. And like what Ernest said, is very important to just know like what you like and what you don't like. So from there, I kind of eliminated. So like, oh, I don't really like to do additional mathematics, so maybe engineering might not be for me, something like that. So then I cut down and narrow my options and find out more about the profession, people who are already working, to basically know what the job entails, so that when I join, I don't get a shock of my
So you must have an idea in mind.
So I think the most important thing is to stay curious and be open-minded. Then you find out more, because there might be a lot of misconceptions about the courses just based on the name itself. So you should really talk to the people to find out what exactly the course entails and what do you learn in the course.
Thanks, Bernice. Very wise words. It's Summer. How about you? An advice for 16-year-old Summer.
Oh, okay. Advice. I think like don't be afraid to make mistakes, because I made a ton of mistakes when I was younger, and I'm still making mistakes, and it's okay, because I think mistakes help you really learn and grow as a person. The more important thing is to try out things and ideas, or if you get rejected or if it doesn't work, it's okay. Just try something else, and yeah.
Such meaningful words, and on that, I know time is short. The good thing about science, even if you decide diploma, actually I don't like science, right? I didn't like this course. With the sciences, you can switch to anything else. Students have gone on, or they've gone on to do psychology, they've gone on to do accountancy, so many. Versus if you do the non-sciences, you can't switch to the science. So even if you make that mistake, you feel I liked it, but later on you feel I don't, having a science diploma is a very credible thing, but you can also switch if you decide to. Yeah, so very meaningful advice. Thanks, Summer. Okay, Hanmin?
Actually, yeah, that was going to be my point.
Oh, dear,
No, I completely agree. It's okay to not know what you want to do right now. Like if you tell my 17-year-old self back then, like I'll be sitting in front here speaking to students about radiation therapy, like I wouldn't have guessed that. So it's completely fine to not know what you want to do now. Go to the different polys, go to the different booths, have a look at what everyone is doing, and just know that if whatever course you select now doesn't have to be what you do in the future. Yeah, it can be, you can do something else completely. You can go to law, finance, or whatever, work in a bank or anything. Yeah, so it's not set in stone. Yeah, so whatever that you choose now does not have to be what you do in the future. Yeah.
Don't be too afraid to take a little bit of risk. We all don't know 100% what we're going to do with our life. That's life, isn't it? Yep. And okay, May.
Thank you. So I basically have the same sentiments as the rest of my panelists. So back when I was 16, I was sort of like very focused that I only want to do science. Like I want to do research. That was my secondary school mindset.
A young age.
Clear.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to go BMS.
Okay.
Then, so I had that same mindset when until year 3, when I went for my internship and I really worked in the research lab. Then after I ended my internship, I decided to change my career path because it was, okay, I like lab, but after seeing how the scientists work, I realized that it is not so simple, just lab work. It really, because it, you know, doing PhD, it involves writing hypotheses. You need to do experiments which always fail. That is very demoralizing to me. Then you also need to find funding. So you need to present papers, read journals. You need to, basically, that process, I did not like it. So I was like, wow, then now I need to change my plan already. So if I could give myself some advice back then, it would be, please be open to alternative career choices. So do not like say that, oh, I only want to do this, I will only learn this thing. So my advice is, sure, you are passionate in science, but also take time to learn other skills and other knowledge. For example, learn some finance, learn some law, whatever. Because honestly, when you graduate, right, not all the jobs in life science is lab-based. There are a lot of other jobs that requires you to have science knowledge as well as other knowledge. Like for product manager, you need to know some marketing, right? Yeah, so you need to learn marketing. If you do business development, you need to learn sales. So please use some time to develop your other skills outside of science. That's my advice to you.
To build on that, in Poly, we have this thing called, you can do a minor, you can add on a little minor, meaning a course on psychology, entrepreneurship. There's a whole list. It's there in the booklet, right? So because of what they shared, we have to always know something else. And here we have pathways for you to do an additional something else based on your interests or what you feel might be useful in the future. All right? Okay, so thank you so much. We still have 5 minutes. Anyone has any burning questions that you would like to ask here? Oh. Okay. Yeah.
One of the foundation subjects is chemistry, no, 2 of them, as well as bio. So if you're a student who, you know, don't have easy time during your O levels in the pure chem and the pure bio syllabus, would you suffer if you come to life sciences here?
Okay. I have my 2 guest course chairs here. Mr. Tai, maybe you can answer that question. Mr. Tai is our course chair for pharmaceutical science.
Okay, thank you for the questions. So I will take this question. So for those who actually don't have the background, like what you said, pure chemistry or pure bio, right? It doesn't really matter because we'll come to year 1, right? We do have the foundational modules like bio and chemistry to build the student up. So the student actually get to learn something from scratch, I would say, right? And they will build up from there because we treat the student everything equally. Some students, they don't study at all chem and bio. They may take physics combination, right? So we do have module to build up. So our year 1 module are all foundational modules that will actually teach a student before they go to year 2 for the application modules. Yeah, I hope that answers your questions.
Yeah, many students don't have pure chemistry or bio.
Miss Sumita, maybe I can just add on because I actually came from a secondary school that only has pure chemistry and pure physics. My school doesn't offer pure bio because they say the class size is a bit small. But like what Mr. Tan has shared, there's a lot of foundational modules that will actually prepare you. And also the lecturers are always there to answer your queries. So most of the time when I have questions, I will always actively, I think the most important is to be proactive in class. You can always clarify and ask questions that you don't know. And there are also friends who did the pure bio in school, and then they will also share their experience. Or like when you have questions, I will also tend to ask them, and they will also like help me out. So that actually helped me to get through and get the bio background because I didn't take pure bio when I was in school.
Yeah, Vernice was she always answers questions in class, but she also is very proactive, goes and finds information herself. I think we have to, I admire you for that. I'm sure all of you have something like that in you. Otherwise, any other questions? Okay, if not, I think I will end the session. We would like to thank all of you again for spending your precious Saturday afternoon with your alma mater. We value you as our alumni. We will be, this recording will go into YouTube. So for those of you who have friends who may find this interesting, you can share the link with them. All right. If you've got further questions, there's Mr. Tai there. You can also ask him about the course. Dr. New here. There's Dr. New also is from the Biomedical Science. You can also ask them about the course, anything related to the course. Or you can also ask all of them anything if you want after this session. So thank you everyone, and we value your time and effort.